Welcome to Sissygram Lesbian Stories. Step into the world of lesbian romance and queer love, where we unpack the most exciting moments and delve into intricate lesbian relationships. If you like my voice, then hit the like button and subscribe our channel for daily videos. Now, let's start the story. I had always known I was different, even as a young girl. While other kids talked about their crushes on boys, I felt something stirring inside me that I couldn't quite understand or discuss. Growing up in a small, conservative town where people valued tradition, it was clear that there were unspoken rules about how you should look, act, and love. Deviating from these norms made you stand out in all the wrong ways, so I kept my feelings hidden, even from myself. I told myself it was just a phase, something I could bury deep enough to forget, but no matter how hard I tried, it never disappeared. When I finally moved to the city, it felt like I could finally breathe. There was no judgment about how you dressed or who you loved. It was a fresh start, an opportunity to discover who I truly was without fear of scrutiny. I focused on building my life, my cozy apartment, my steady job, and a routine that kept me grounded. I kept my head down, staying busy and avoiding unnecessary drama. Yet from time to time, I couldn't help but notice women who caught my eye. Sometimes it was the way they laughed, carefree and confident. Other times, it was how they carried themselves, as if they knew exactly who they were. These crushes were fleeting, easy to push aside. But then Alina came along. She didn't just catch my eye, she captivated me completely. From the moment she walked into the office, everything about her demanded attention. It wasn't just her striking appearance, it was something deeper, harder to define. Alina didn't just walk into a room, she claimed it, as though it had always been hers to begin with. She moved with a quiet, undeniable confidence, like she didn't need anyone's approval. But it was her gaze that truly set her apart, probing, as though she could see through every barrier you'd ever built. It was unsettling and thrilling at the same time, as if she knew things about me that even I hadn't figured out yet. I remember the first time our eyes met. It wasn't just a glance, it was a moment. The noise of the office faded, and for a second, it felt like we were the only two people in the room. There was something about her that made me feel exposed, as if she could see parts of me I wasn't ready to show. Yet, I couldn't pull away. There was an unspoken pull to her, a magnetism that drew me closer, even though I wasn't sure what would happen if I did. Alina was just different. She was extraordinary. She left an impression long after she was gone. She consumed my attention effortlessly, becoming the brightest presence in any room. She made me curious, made me wonder what it would be like to be on the other side of that knowing look, to be someone she let into her world. And from that moment, I knew Alina was someone who would change everything. At first, I convinced myself it was just another harmless crush, but the more time we spent together, the harder it became to ignore the way my heart raced when she smiled at me. Alina didn't just stir up feelings I thought I'd buried. She turned my world upside down, and I wasn't sure if I wanted it to stop. Alina was my boss daughter, and that title alone came with certain expectations. I had heard the whispers, the rumors about a spoiled rich girl used to getting her way. People thought she would waltz in with an air of entitlement, treating the office like her playground because of her father's influence. I admit, I was prepared to roll my eyes when I learned she'd be joining as an intern. But when she walked through the door, all those assumptions crumbled. Alina was what anyone expected, least of all me. She didn't glide in wearing designer clothes or speaking in a tone that demanded attention. Instead, she exuded a quiet confidence that made you look twice. Her short cropped crimson hair dared the world to notice her, and tattoos peeked out from beneath her sleeves, hinting at stories she didn't share easily. Her style was unique, a blend of rebellion and grace that made it impossible not to stare. But it was just her appearance that turned heads. Alina carried herself in a way that made people take note. She didn't try to prove anything, yet her presence commanded respect. She was sharp, quick-witted, and unapologetically herself, whether in meetings or casual conversations by the coffee machine. At first, I kept my distance. She was my boss daughter, after all, and I didn't want to complicate my life with office drama. But soon, the little conversations, shared smiles, and stolen glances lingered a second too long. Then, one evening, my phone buzzed with a text from Alina. "Hey, can you come over tonight? I need to talk to you. It's important." My heart stopped for a moment before racing again. It seemed innocent, but the weight behind it was undeniable. My mind raced with possibilities. Was this just a friendly invitation, or was there something more to it? I debated how to respond, then decided to keep it simple. "Sure. What time?" Her reply came almost instantly now. "See you soon." My heart jolted. She wanted me there now. Without overthinking it, I grabbed my coat and headed out, knowing my life wouldn't be the same when I arrived. When I reached her place, my palms were sweaty. Her apartment was in a fancy neighborhood with spotless hallways and polite, quiet neighbors. Alina greeted me with a small smile, casually, dressed in an oversized sweatshirt and shorts that revealed a tattoo. I stepped into her cozy apartment, feeling out of place. The walls were adorned with art, and books were stacked on every surface. Everything about the moment felt charged, but I tried to keep it casual. We talked briefly, and then she handed me a glass of wine. The silence between us was full of unspoken words. Finally, she turned to me and said softly, "I needed to see you." Her words hung in the air, and I tried to steady myself, hoping to understand what this was all about. Then, she leaned in, her knee brushing against mine, and my heart raced. She looked at me with intense, searching eyes and confessed, "I've been thinking about you." My mind raced. This was my boss daughter. She was off limits, but she continued, her hand resting on mine. "I know this is risky, but I can't pretend I don't feel something for you." My heart raced. Knowing the truth, there was an undeniable pull between us. We sat in the silence, both vulnerable. Alina's hand gently touched mine as she said, "I just want tonight. No promises, no expectations, just us." Her words felt like an invitation, a moment that changed everything. When I kissed her, it felt like everything I had been searching for was right there. In that moment, the night was a whirlwind of emotions, vulnerability, and passion. Everything I had kept hidden for so long. And when morning came, with the sun casting soft pink and gold hues, I lay beside her, my mind swirling with thoughts. But for the first time, I didn't worry about what would happen next. All that mattered was what we had now. This connection, this moment. I didn't regret it. I didn't regret taking a chance. And as I held her hand, I knew that for the first time in a long while, I was exactly where I was meant to be. This is where the story ends. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe Sissygram Lesbian Stories and like the video. Also share your experience to motivate others and learn from your experience. We have spent hours to make such content for you. Kindly share with your social media groups to reach more. Thank you. I will see you with next story on this channel. Stay tuned.